I see this a whole bunch lately. Not a whole bunch, probably more than I should. Probably because I'm going after games that I shouldn't. Well, let's look the GameStop sticker. Was that June 26, 2006? Hell of a year. Hell of a year. Medal of Honor Rising Sun for the Gamecube. This is going to be in a case cleaning video that's going to come up pretty soon. We're not discussing the case cleaning today, though. The reason why we want to clean this case is that there are a handful of 2-disc Gamecube cases floating around in the world out there, and we want to make sure that we can clean every single one that we run across, because these legitimately will be difficult to find. No one makes after-the-fact cases, aftermarkets, and this one's Clearview. Amaray doesn't make all of the cases. Sometimes it's Clearview. Why are we getting into discussions about the case during a video that you already know what it's going to be about? So I bought this game, and this is how the disc showed up. Get some light in there for you. And this is how the disc showed up, okay? Now, here's where irony comes in, okay? Look how scratched that is. Look how scratched that is. And it's been resurfaced. And I know that it's been resurfaced because this is resurfacing compound that has dried on the disc itself. Both of them are like that. So they look terrible. They don't play. And they're covered in resurfacing gunk. So this is not part of the Gamecube disc resurfacing series, disc cleaning series. This isn't a part of that or anything. This is separate. And I know people hate hearing about it, but this is one of the reasons why it is important for people to understand how to use their resurfacing machine correctly and how to train individuals on how to use their resurfacing machine correctly. So if you run a game store, congratulations. And if you run a game store and you have ELM machine, Easy Pros, any of those, the Eco Models, whatever kind you have, I've experienced and worked with all of them. I can help you devise a good method of explaining to your team how to use it correctly. There's a difference between using distilled water and deionized water. There's a difference between using tap water and then using tap water to rinse. There's a bunch of different things, a bunch of different compounds, and that's something that I'm not necessarily making a video on because it really depends on the store and how they use it and all this stuff. But I am always happy to help. Before the family videos all up around Southern Ohio closed up, there were a number of stores that I was talking to about buying their old machines for fairly cheap and helping them figure out how to get the life of their machines out and getting it, working and running and living the best life it possibly can. Then they all closed and it doesn't matter anyway. So what we're gonna do today, we're not gonna worry about the case. There's a big old case bonanza we're gonna do, but I am gonna show you how to clean these two, and then how just to get rid of just the swirls. Really, that's what we want to get rid of, is just the excessive swirls. These discs just look terrible. I mean, they just look beat up. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna do the basics of the cleaning on the outside, what to inspect, what to look at, and then we're gonna do a real quick polishing. For more detailed cleaning up of the discs, I'll link the Gamecube disc cleaning series. I've gotten a ton of positive feedback. Positive or negative feedback. If you have done the methods shown in part 1, 2, and 3 of the Gamecube disc cleaning series, let me know. Let me know if it works. Let me know if it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, I want to be able to kind of get with you and figure out what we can do to get it to work. We've had a lot of really good successes. Down in the comments, people are always leaving that they have great success with these, or if they don't have success, it's just a matter of figuring out what they can do a little bit differently. My goal here is to make it so that everyone's games can always work and will always work, and so that's kind of my big focus for these videos. I don't monetize, there's no ads or anything, none of that stuff. This is literally just so that people can bring their games back to life, because this kind of stuff is easy to fix, but it's just a matter of learning what you need to do to fix it. So, part one of this is we're just going to inspect the discs and figure out what we need to do. So both of these have basically the same thing. There's residue, once the camera catches up, there's residue all along the edges, all along the front and back, and the back here too. Same thing on this one. Basically, what happened was they took it out of the machine and they didn't either rinse it off, or the machine that they used didn't have a rinse cycle, or they just didn't know. Could be any of these things. I don't know. So first thing we're going to do, put it on a paper towel, mostly just so we can collect the rubbing compound. The rubbing compound used always has a bit of an aggregate in it, so it's rough, that kind of thing. You don't want it to get over your work surface. You want to make sure that you clean that up and consolidate that as much as you can. Let me show you why. So I use these blue mats. These blue mats get washed all the time. Yeah, there's a bunch of them too. If I'm cleaning off residue like this from a resurfacer and I brush it onto the mat, and then I were to take the disc and set it down onto the mat, and maybe I slid it around or something, that resurfacing compound that's on the mat could get back onto the disc, and then I'd have to start the whole process over again. So it's a big thing about keeping your workspace as clean and tidy as possible so that you don't have to worry about those things in the future. Always spray onto the paper towel. Try not to spray directly onto the surface if you can help it. And this is just an all-purpose cleaner. Nothing fancy. And I'll clean this one, and then we'll compare it side by side to its little brother down there. I'm also not worried about the data side. I'm not too worried about making sure that that's, you know, perfectly clean or anything, because I'm not there yet. So while we're doing this, we're just going to clean off the surface as best we can. And you'll see we're getting a little bit of blue. So that little bit of blue is coming from the actual label itself. That's okay. Once you see that, you know that you need to kind of reduce how much you're using and how much pressure you're using and everything. Are you doing anything to cause that? Honestly, it's probably a lot just the rubbing compound having been on there and us wiping it off, cleaning it off, that kind of thing. So don't freak out too much about it. You're not really going to lose enough to really have to worry about anything. Okay. Looking so nice. The edges are a little scuffed up. I am going to do a video showing people how to polish those, but it's going to be a really weird video. So this backside's all cleaned up too. The thing I wanted to show you is, and I didn't do it on this video, but I'll show you right now. When we're cleaning Gamecube discs, what happens sometimes is liquid gets in between these rings. The 1000-year door disc, there's a couple of different discs that I've shown where it's just them not sealing the game disc center when they're cleaning it, right? So what I'm gonna do, don't freak out. Are you freaking out? Don't freak out. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill up the center with liquid, okay? That's on the set, that's in between your two layers, okay? That's literally in between your two layers. So, so what we do, compressed air. This is an electric compressed air gun. I talked about it a little bit on the Discord recently. This is something I've used a bunch, but I didn't think to tell you guys how to use it in this regard. So, electric air duster, foamy, soapy water on the inside. Check it out. We're gonna spray it all out. It's gonna come out, it's gonna make a mess on all the sides, but we're gonna get it out between the seams. Ready? Be kind of loud. I'm a wizard, Harry. Yep, just checking. And I got rid of it. There's one little spot, but I think that's actually a printing mark. So that's how you get rid of liquid when it's in between the discs. And that's a big part of the reason why I get kind of frustrated when you get a disc from a game store or something and it's got that residue in the center, is that it's like, that's a really easy thing to fix. What are you doing? So there we have our 2 comparison discs. 2 households. Once again, both alike in Verona. And you can just see right off the bat, let me fix the lighting. You can see right off the bat that this one just looks a little nicer than this one. This one's got a little roughness to it. Same thing on the back, aside from the scratches. And then this one, just that center ring. Ooh. So, same thing on this one. We're just gonna go in, switch to a clean part of the towel. I'm doing like scrubbing work, cleaning work, stuff like that. You'll see that I do that and I use the same towel over and over again because I'm not really all that worried about like dirt contamination or anything. So if it does spread, it's not a big deal because I'm just using these as scrubbing. If I was doing finer work, I would want to swap out, like when we're doing the resurfacing and everything, I want to swap out the towels as often as we can. Is that? Man, this one's actually a little more rough than I realized. The edges got all beat up. Same thing on this one. We'll get liquid on the inside. I'm not worried about it. Neither should you. Are you worrying? Okay. Yeah, this one's got the same. Okay, we'll address the sides in a second. I know what that is. Cleaned off the front. Looking so nice. Still getting a little bit of blue. That's fine. These glossies are just how it is. Compressed air, same thing. I like the electric dusters. It takes down a lot of the waste of the canned air, and canned air is kind of annoying to find, at least in the state of Ohio. It's annoying. So I like these. I think this one was like $40 on Amazon. I'll leave a link. They're all the same. There's 8 million different kinds on Amazon. They all work exactly the same. But it's battery powered, so it makes it a lot easier. The nozzle has the tendency to pick up some of the liquid that I blow off, so I just wipe it onto my glove. Easy. Yeah, so we got a little bit. Man. They soaked this poor little fella. So we got a little bit more in that center ring. But it's actually residue. It's not from our work. It's actually residue. So let's see if we can't soak it a little bit more and get it a little looser. The other big thing to do while you're cleaning is keep an idea of what it is you're using, what chemicals you're using, how they look on different surfaces. And that'll give you a good idea of if compressed air doesn't blow something away, well, all we've used so far is all-purpose cleaner. So all we've used is water. So if something isn't blowing away and there's something that I actually have to get in there and scrub it off or something, that's a pretty good indication that there is something else there, because I know we haven't used any rubbing compound. If I already started to use Novus 2 on here and then saw that inside of the center ring, I don't know if it was from me or if it was from before, that kind of thing. So just keep in your mind what chemicals you've used so far and try to increase from least impactful to most impactful as you go along. So we're starting off with a water and an all-purpose cleaner that's easy to dry off. Once we get to the Novus compound, then it'll get a little bit more technical. We'll leave residues, that kind of thing. But we'll know at each step what the baseline is of how it should be looking. So I'm gonna blow out this residue. Whatever is left, if there's any solid material, then I know that that's definitely there from before. So let's see. Yeah, still getting a little bit in the center part of the ring. Yeah, so still getting a little bit in that center ring right there. There you go. Not really enough to be concerning. Enough to be annoying, though. But yeah, not really enough to be concerning or anything. Not going to worry too much about it yet. We do have a center ring cleaning video that'll come up too. But honestly, I mean, these look, yeah, it's looking good. So now we're going to focus on resurfacing the discs themselves, mostly just to get those little tiny little swirly scratches off of it. That's really all I want to get. I'm not looking for mirror finish. I'm not looking for perfection. I just want to scrub it up a little bit. So, Novus time. Although I always say Novus time, but realistically, if there is a different plastic polish that you like, you can use that plastic polish. Like it's not like I gotta use, or we all gotta use the same plastic polish. Not a big deal. There's a couple that I like. I got a video that I'm gonna do an overview on. They were flipped. This one. There's a couple that I'm gonna do an overview on. I just like Novus from just years of using it, and it's so similar to the Gamecube disc fixing compound. Have I told you that? I feel like I've told you guys that before. If not, the Gamecube disc fixer was what it was called, was the compound that we used in GameStop stores for ever and ever and ever. It smelled terrible. And I bought so many bottles of it because I was like, oh, you never know, I might need it one of these days. I might need like 400 bottles of it. Ultimately, I didn't end up needing 400 bottles of it because I found Novus instead. So I sat down and I looked at what the ingredients were in the GameStop disc fixer compound. It was actually a really common compound that a lot of different companies had used. And sure enough, GameStop was one of them. Looked at what the active ingredients were, what the chemical mixture was, and then started to dig around plastic polishes that had similar construction and similar ingredients list. And Novus just over and over again kept popping up. So I started to use it basically from that because it was a compound that I was familiar with. I realized I'm really zoomed in here. It was a compound that I was familiar with, and I just knew how to use it from years and years of using basically that same compound. When I got more into the polymers and material science world and talking with people that are really into plastics, you guys thought I was really into plastic. There are some material engineers out there that are crazy for it. And in talking with those people and really finding out that there are a handful of really good plastic polishes that people like, and then there's a couple that everyone's like, you know, this is a gold standard kind of thing. So it's Novus, there's a Tamiya, there's a couple of different ones that are just like the, you know, get that if you can, if not, these other things will work. And so I thought, well, good, that's the kind I've been using. I also just remembered, yes, I'm using paper towels again. So to the couple of people that said I shouldn't use paper towels, I know, and I forgot. I don't think I have any cloths down here. Let me check and see if I have any cloths. You gotta believe in yourself. I had cloths. Okay, one more time, because I used paper towels and I said that I wouldn't. The other thing I do, squirt, and then when I lift it back up, squeeze. And you squeeze sideways so that it pulls in air and it cleans out that main channel. So How's everyone's summer? Good. This is also what happens when I stream on Twitch. I have a Twitch. You can follow me on there. I'm terrible about remembering to stream. But that's what'll happen is that I'd be like, hey guys, I'm going to clean a video game. And then people would come over to the Twitch, and it was just me doing this. Somebody was like, maybe he has headphones in. No. No, I literally just do this. A lot of times I'll do this with like Netflix on, Gaming Historian on, just something in the background. Thrilling, right? And again, we're not going for full-time perfection. We're literally just going for, can we get the... My cat made a weird noise. We're literally going for, can we just get just some of the mangling off? Yeah. So, my cat decided to leap from the windows for some reason. So it looks a lot better. Don't want to push it because I'm not going for a mirror finish. I go for realism here, kids. And they're probably both going to look pretty similar. I know. Yeah, we still have some swirl marks. Again, not a mirror finish. This will play. I have no worries or concerns that that'll play. That'll totally play. And actually, this... What is this? This is disc 2. I don't know... I don't think I tried disc 2. I tried disc 1. And it didn't want to go, but... there were a lot of things going on. Okay. Also forgot to bring the scale down so I could measure the pressure. I want to say it's about... I want to say 3 pounds. Saying 3 pounds seems really heavy, but I want to say 3 pounds. It's a good amount. I want to be able to get you guys numbers. There's a couple people that asked for that, and I do want to be able to give you guys numbers so that you get, you know, something a little more tangible. But also it's something that you have to kind of learn on your own and do it. So people will ask and they'll say, you know, how much pressure and how much, just the quantities of everything. And you'll notice that a lot of this, I just kind of, with the Novus 2, when I apply it, I apply enough to cover the surface. How much is that? I don't know. You know, it's enough to cover the surface. And then if it doesn't work and I go back in and I add more, do I need to add more? Not necessarily, but if I add more, then the chances that I'm going to run out are slim. So basically, the amount of time that I take to clean a disc is really dependent on how much compound is on there. So if you put a ton of compound on there and you really cake it on and everything, then chances are pretty good that you're going to stay on that disc for a little bit longer. So now that that's been all covered in compound, we'll get rid of that. Yeah, these edges, and a lot of times what this is, I don't even know if this is going to pick up. A lot of times what this is, nope, maybe, nope, is just the actual acrylic seal. And it's not always acrylic, but usually just the compound that they seal the two edges in, starting to fall apart a little bit. Yeah, see. Right there. Yeah. So, got that one. We got this one. The disc will get cleaned later. The other thing you want to make sure you do is just wipe out the center of these, wipe all the edges, and make sure you get everything real cleaned out because you don't want any compound hanging out in there. We'll do a full case video where we strip the stickers and everything else. That'll be later on down the road. Cleaning all that, cleaning all that. Make sure they're all nice and happy. Disc 2. Disc 1. Whoops. So there is that. Pretty straightforward cleaning. And this, you really only have to do this if you get games that had been professionally resurfaced and need a little bit extra. So, there you go. I've seen a lot more of these lately where everything's getting resurfaced, so everything needs a little bit of cleaning. That edge still kind of sucks, though. There we go. So that's how you do that. Like I said, this isn't part of the Gamecube series. This is just how to clean a game that has been resurfaced. If you run across these that are heavily like this, if you do see a disc, you know, full-size DVD, Gamecube, whatever it is, if you do see a disc that does have the excessive, and it's usually either white or kind of a beigey taupe. If you see those kinds of colors, usually it's disc resurfacing compound. It's easy to clean off. The big thing is you want to make sure that you do dilute it so that when you clean it off, you're not actually scrubbing anything off of the surface. Makes sense? Hopefully. Until next time, I appreciate all the positive comments. I appreciate all the subscriptions, all the suggestions for videos that people want to see. We got so much more coming up. So be sure to clean your games. Please clean your games. That's all your games want. Nice, clean, happy games for the summertime. Check on any cardboard boxes that you have during these warm months. Check the cardboard boxes to make sure that they're nice and the way that they should be. They shouldn't be soft or anything. Check on your games. Give them a call. See how they're doing. I'm going to go back to cleaning. All right. See you guys.